So, Desert Boy here again. Once again, I'll be looking at the manuals, but what will I be doing? I'm trying to sight it in. Well, one of the ammunitions I found that I liked, now this was, of course, worked really well with the teak and the Seiko because it was made for the Seiko barrel. The stainless steel barrel was a Seiko barrel. This particular ammunition, this 270 Winchester hammerhead ammo, is 156 grain, and it worked pretty well for me for 200 yard sight in. I'll be using some of that. I will probably also use some Remington Core-Lokt because I kind of like that as kind of an in-between hunting round and stuff. In this case, it's a 150 grain cartridge, because I think of that as being a more hunting kind of cartridge. And then a very popular one that I know of from people I've talked to is 150 grain Winchester Fusion cartridge, and I will probably use some of that too. I also have some Fusion Light, which I think is 135 grain. I think I have another one that's like a 140 grain or something like that. And I also have some Winchester Super Act. So I've got quite a variety of 270 ammos. One of the reasons why I went back to this is I just found that to be a really good cartridge for that, and there's a lot of selections, you know, especially if you're not a reloader. So something I'd like to do, haven't learned about that yet. So just to give you an idea, and one other thing, when I had my Tikka, I really liked having a bipod on the front of it, and this is kind of a medium bipod. I'm going to use a Caldwell on here, which I'll mount on there before I go out to the range. But I had a Harris on my other one, and found that to be very handy. This gun's a little heavier. As far as the specs on it go, about this Howa is that this is a fairly stout rifle. It's 9.4 pounds. It's about 42.25 inches long. I think it's got a two locking lug type bolt, but it's a one-piece forged bolt. It does have a 3-position safety so that you can actually have it on safe, and while you are ejecting rounds, removing rounds from it. As I showed you earlier, the bottom floor plate of the magazine releases to unloaded as well. It's a 5+1 capacity in the 270 Win caliber. Length of pole is 13.87 inches, and it has a 2-stage trigger from what I understand, and it's got this Hogue, as I mentioned, this Hogue over molded stock and a nice recoil pad on it. Of course, it's got its swivel studs on here already as well. With the Game King combo, it has this Nikko-Stirling scope on there, which is a very nice scope. Nikko-Stirling scope, I don't think I mentioned before, was a 3.5 by 10 by 44, and it has what they call their LRX reticle instead of their mil-spec reticle, and it's red and green illuminated. So I think I did mention it is red and green illuminated. Looks like it has a parallax adjustment probably on it, so we'll see how that goes. Looking at the procedures for breaking it in, Howa does have kind of a recommended procedure, I guess, just to make sure the way the barrel kind of gets sealed in, and I will do my best to try to follow along with that somewhat tomorrow, and then we'll see how we do. Once again, I'll get this mounted on there before we get out to the range. So for those of you that are used to it, I have like Caldwell range bags. I don't actually have a stand. I actually have some range bags which will help me out there in sighting this in. Won't be quite as perfect as having a stand and all that, I understand that, but before, when I sighted it in my Tikka, I didn't have any of that. I just used had it bore sighted, and then I used my bipod, and it seemed to do okay. Well, we'll have to do some kind of bore sighting with it initially, of course. So anyway, that's my plan for tomorrow. It's been a while since I've had a bolt action in any kind of what I would call a standard hunting rifle. I don't exactly think a 45-70 is a standard hunting rifle unless you're a big game hunter. And I don't think of a 38-357 as a standard hunting rifle, though you could use it to take deer if you're allowed to within whatever your state's rules are. So this is a chance to kind of, like I said, work at getting ready for maybe have an opportunity to go hunting. As always, as I said before, be safe out there no matter what you're doing. Thank you.